Pickles on your burger or chicken sandwich? Absolutely. How about pickles in your potato salad? Can't live without them. But here's the thing, not all pickles are created equal. So let's talk about which jars you should and shouldn't reach for, listed from worst to best. Kroger's Simple Truth organic line offers an option for pickles made with organically grown ingredients. And while that sounds great, you can tell you're not in for a winner with these pickles just by looking at the jar. The color of these pickles is incredibly pale yellowish green, which isn't super appetizing. There's a freshness to the brine when you open the jar, perhaps from the organic cucumbers selected to make these pickles. But organic doesn't always mean better. Biting into this pickle doesn't offer much. There's barely any crunch, and the interior side of the spear is mushy in texture. It's a hard pass on these. Boar's Head is a prominent deli brand, offering delicious options for meats, cheeses, and even hummus. Of course, that familiar packaging would promise a delicious pickle option to accompany those other deli favorites, right? No, not so fast. Typically found refrigerated in the deli area of a grocery store, this Boar's Head packaging is all talk. Once you crack into the fancy jar, you're simply left with regret. You'll find just a few pickles floating in a brine with peppercorn, carrots, and chunks of garlic. And while that seems entirely promising, that first bite leaves you hoping for more. There's certainly a decent crunch, and while they definitely have a home-style look and feel to them, the flavor just misses the mark. Vlasic is certainly known as one of the most classic pickle brands, but they decided to switch things up from their classic offerings and introduce its Purely Pickles deli-style line as another option. These pickles have no artificial flavors or preservatives, along with no artificial colors. And while all of that sounds great, these pickles don't quite live up to the same level of greatness. Upon opening the jar, you're met with a nice acidic aroma, but there's almost a hint of sweetness to it. Biting into the spear offers a nice crunch on the outside, but then you find yourself munching on a much softer, mushier interior. Overall, these pickles are lackluster at best, with just a hint of crunch. A spicy pickle sounds like it could only be a good thing for those who love foods with a little kick, right? Trust us, we were just as excited as you, especially to find a unique offering from Kroger. But these zesty hot dill pickles might just have a little too much zing to them. Opening the jar, you'll definitely think there's a promise of incredible flavor. But these zesty little things are taking spice to a whole new, uncomfortable level. You can't smell it by opening the jar, but once you bite into one of these pickles, it will definitely pack a punch. The crunch is incredible, but the heat is a bit unbalanced, which means they may have a bit too much of a kick for everyday enjoyment. Claussen pickles are always found in a refrigerated section in the grocery store, leading you to think these pickles must be filled with promise. Surely they must be better than a cheaper, shelf-stable option, right? Well, not so fast. The juice is a nice light green hue, paired with mustard seed, dried red peppers, and dried garlic in the brine. They're a nicely colored pickle, giving off the appearance and feeling of freshness. Biting into a Claussen pickle offers a great lasting crunch throughout the entire bite. It's a wildly satisfying crunch, but we're not sure that makes up for their overpowering taste. These pickles are essentially a vinegar bomb, without much else going on with the flavor. The aftertaste is surprisingly delicious and balanced, but the actual bite into the pickle is all about acidity in an overwhelming way. If there's one thing Famous Dave's is, well, famous for, it's barbecue. And while ribs and brisket are certainly popular choices at this restaurant chain, it's the sandwiches and burgers topped with spicy pickles that really make pickle fans go wild. There's just something so perfectly balanced about these signature spicy pickles made with peppers and onion. And it makes it even better that you can buy them at the store to enjoy at home. They're a nice sweet pickle with spice coming through in the aftertaste, and they're not too overpowering for those who can't handle too much spice. It's definitely a different flavor than those who love a classic dill pickle, but it's a solid choice to pile high on top of a brisket sandwich or burger for extra flavor.
Just take one.
I don't want a pickle.
I don't care if you want one, you need it. Just take one.
The difference in color from Vlasic's Purely Pickled Dill Spears and its regular Kosher Dill Spears is astonishing. Truly, Vlasic is offering up a basically neon green color with these pickles. And while no artificial dyes are incorporated, the company apparently utilizes turmeric extract for color, which may have been a bit too heavy in the recipe. Color aside, opening up this jar offers a nice balanced aroma. It's not too acidic, not too sweet. Biting into these pickles offers a hint of crunch, which is Vlasic's critics claim to fame, but with this option, we certainly wouldn't agree that it's a big crunch as the label states. The spears have a slight crunch on the exterior, but the interior of the spear is all too soft. The texture is a bit of a miss with these pickles, but the flavor is decent. It's well balanced with a hint of vinegar and acidity paired with a tiny bit of sweetness to round it out. Typically, a kosher dill pickle will incorporate additional flavoring agents, such as garlic, to pack a tasty punch. And these varieties of pickles are flooding shelves, most often with a mixture of garlic, dill, and other spices in the brine. Walmart's Great Value dill pickles are a little different in that they only contain cucumber, water, vinegar, and dill extract to achieve their pickle flavor without the addition of garlic. And for people who don't love garlic, that's ideal. While we're huge fans of kosher dill pickles, this option definitely still packs a flavorful punch. The crunch on the exterior of the pickle is great, paired with a well-balanced flavor throughout. We just can't hide the fact that we love pickles better when they come with a hint of garlicky goodness. Opening a jar of Farman's pickles, you'll find it jam-packed to the brim. And with how good these pickles are, that's definitely something to be thankful for. The Farman's brand certainly dishes up a pleasantly pickle-colored option, along with a nice bumpy exterior. And the crunch truly is incredible. This is perhaps one of the crunchiest pickle options out there, and Farman's knows it. Unfortunately, these pickles are a bit lacking in flavor. Don't get us wrong, the flavor is decent, but we just simply wish there was more going on here. Opening a jar of Kroger's whole kosher baby dill pickles is like being smacked in the face with vinegar. If you're not a fan of super acidic pickles, this could definitely be a turnoff just by taking a whiff of the jar.
Oh my God!
But hear us out. If you give these perfectly bumpy little pickles a try, they might just end up surprising you. There's a nice, satisfying crunch when you bite into the pickle that lasts all the way through the experience. They're incredibly acidic and salty, as evidenced by the aroma coming from the brine when you pop open the jar, but that leads to a wildly tasty pickle. Overall, it's a great option for snacking. Mount Olive has been turning cucumbers into delicious dill pickles since 1926, so you better believe they know a thing or two. And we have to agree that their recipe certainly stands the test of time. These are the crunchiest pickles you could ever dream of, and throughout the entire chewing process, it's a whole delicious experience, one crunch after another. The acidity of these pickles is well balanced with a hint of sweetness. They're nicely seasoned with just a bit of salt, and they're not overpowering with the vinegar flavor. They're definitely a well-balanced option to add to any dish or to keep crunching on as a snack all afternoon long. This is the epitome of nostalgia when it comes to pickles, and chances are this is the pickle you grew up with. And while that giant dill pickle served as the perfect snack in teenage years, it still holds on strong today for snacking or any other recipe addition. Biting into a whole dill pickle is an experience in and of itself. It's not the same as spears by any means, and it's a slightly elevated experience compared to baby dills. There's an incredible crunch that comes from biting into a whole dill pickle from Vlasic, and quite frankly, it lives up to everything that little stork on the label has been claiming about being the crunchiest pickle for years. The flavor is perfectly balanced with a tanginess that's unmatched. There isn't too much vinegar, there's a hint of sweetness, and it's overall just an all-around perfect pickle option. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more mashed videos about your favorite foods are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.